I've just had a delivery. It's a pretty big one. I don't know what's in it because it says it's from eBay, but I've got nothing large coming from eBay. So let's get it open and have a look, I guess. Okay, we got it open. It's very well packaged. Very well packaged. This is like... There's nothing in there. Got it. We that was so much harder than it had any right to be. We got it. Okay, so this is the Steelbook limited edition version of Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. However, check this out. It's an empty case. Do you know how much this cost me? £30. Let me show you why, though. I do have rhyme behind my reason. Or reason behind... I don't know that phrase. You get the gist. Also, if you haven't already, please do drop me a subscribe. A good majority of you guys haven't. If you could, it'd be great, because there's a spot on my wall over there that I would like a silver play button for at some point. So if we come over to this shelf over here and pull out my Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, the keen-eyed amongst you may notice this isn't a legitimate case. This was one of the cases that I created myself. However, the disc inside said case is a real PAL disc. This is one of the games that, like a decent chunk of my old PS3 stuff, case got sun damaged in my old house, like I've said a million times. Comment down below, how many times have you heard me say that? I'm curious. How many of the same people rewatch these videos? Because, bit of a side tangent, a lot of you guys know that my primary platform when it comes to social media was TikTok. On TikTok, if I get, say, 10,000 views in a video, most of the time that will be a different set of 10,000 people each time. The core, few hundred people that, love and watch your stuff will be the same in each one. But, every time a video performs well on TikTok, it'll be a different amount of people. It's why over there you can pretty much make the same 10 videos on repeat forever, and the questions will always be the same. There's no amount of... I have genuinely posted Dark Souls and playthroughs of Dark Souls. I've got about 5 playthroughs of Dark Souls on TikTok, totaling hundreds of millions of views across all of them, right? I will still every day get people saying, have you ever played Dark Souls? You've definitely never played Dark Souls and stuff like that. So, yeah. Anyway, now, like I said, this Steelbook limited edition version of Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance cost me £30. I at some point would have bought Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. The other day I saw this game in my local CX, and it's a decently rare game to be fair, and it would have cost me £20. So if I wanted the real case, which I did, and at some point would have bought, remember, Siren Blood Curse was a game that I bought physically, even though I owned digitally, and that cost me over 50 quid. So this isn't the first time that I've spent money that I probably didn't need to spend, but for the sake of being pretty and being a little bit pedantic, we did this. So I could have got the real case and the regular case for 20 quid and a second disc that I didn't actually need, or I can use my disc, take it out of my fake case, buy an empty Steelbook limited edition version for an extra tenner, and I think that's a pretty fair trade-off, to be honest. What do we think? Also, can we just shout out anyone that's ever sent me anything off eBay? Because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but they come in such secure packaging every single time. It is very rare that I get sent one game and it's in a tiny little box. These are some massive boxes. You would have expected there to be 5 to 10 games in the box of that size, but no, just one. Just one. Well done to anyone that's ever sent me anything off eBay. In other collecting updates, I did get really unlucky with one of my eBay things, because it didn't come. It got cancelled. I paid for it, and about an hour later I got an email saying I've been refunded, it's been cancelled, it's out of stock. I don't really know what's happened there, because I feel like typically you buy something immediately on eBay and it's straight away taken off the store. I could understand if that had happened because 2 people had bought the same item and whoever bought it first gets it. But typically, as far as I'm aware on eBay, you buy something, the listing is immediately removed so that a second person can't buy it. I don't know. Maybe the person changed their mind. I doubt it though, because the thing that I bought had been listed for well over a month. They were seemingly struggling to get rid of it. So I don't quite understand what's going on there. But it is what it is. I found another one. In fact, I found another one in better condition and it was cheaper, so that's kind of a win. It just means I'm going to have to wait a little bit longer. At this point, I am inundated with cardboard. You will struggle to find somebody that hoards cardboard more than me. We have to take our cardboard directly to the tip, because remember, I'm sponsored by my protein, so I get a massive box every month and then extra stuff that turns up just for special occasions, and then anything that I ever get ordered off eBay comes in cardboard, and then My partner is some sort of clothing fiend where every few days there's another... You get the gist. We have a lot of cardboard turning up. I'm calling it now. She's going to walk in once she hears that I'm not recording anymore and go, I heard that. You were supposed to. Also, people have been asking me to talk more about the films that I see at the cinema, because I go to the cinema generally like minimum once a week, but it's quite often twice. I went to the cinema yesterday. Today we're going to the cinema again, and then the next time is Sunday not even next week, in 6 more days, and then also a week today again. So over the space of about 8 days, I log on 4 times. It's pretty excessive. We're spending a lot of time in the cinema at the minute. Anyway, last night I saw Transformers 1, the children's movie, which I've got a bit of a pet peeve. There was a time where I was really into voice acting, to the point where I quite enjoy, when I'm playing games, spotting voice actors in things or listening. You know what I mean? It's always fun to do that. Like, as soon as you understand what Yuri Lowenthal's voice sounds like, you'll see him everywhere. As soon as you understand what Steve Blum's voice sounds like, you'll see him everywhere. Stuff like that. And it really bothers me when voice actors don't get the work they should get because companies want to use like the biggest names possible to try to drive sales for whatever that is they're making. A good recent example of that is Chris Pratt being the voice of just about everything. Now, in Transformers 1, the voice actors from Transformers are not present. Peter Cullen, the guy that has voiced Optimus Prime since Transformers began, still voices Optimus Prime. I do believe he has not retired. He does not wish to retire yet, I'm pretty sure. And yet, instead, we have Chris Hemsworth, Thor, voicing Optimus Prime in this. We also have Scarlett Johansson as the female sidekick. Just, again, real actors rather than voice actors in an animated thing, when voice actors would have been better off doing the job. They've done this quite a few times in like recent years that I can think of. And I'm again looking at Chris Pratt being what, Mario and Garfield, when the voice actor for Mario is right there, you know? So anyway, I went into Transformers 1 without very high hopes due to the fact that it was Chris Hemsworth voicing Optimus Prime, and I thought it was just going to be silly. I thought I wasn't going to be able to look past that and all that sort of thing. It's the same way like what? Chris Evans was Buzz Lightyear a couple of years ago in that film. Like they keep doing this because it's name brand recognition. They're trying to put people in seats, which, by the way, they have not successfully done at all. Whoever did the marketing for Transformers 1 needs sacking, because this film was brilliant. As much as I really went into it thinking I was going to dislike it because of the voice acting cast, it was really, really good. But there was only about 3 or 4 people in the cinema when I went. And then whenever I leave the cinema, I always go on Wikipedia and I look up like stuff about the film, how well it performed, all that sort of thing. And I think it's barely made back half its budget so far. And it's going to be a critical flop, a commercial flop, despite the fact that it's been a pretty good critical success. Like, it was a really good film. Although, tell you another thing, once again going to throw my partner under the bus a little bit here. She told me when we left that she didn't actually work out that it was Optimus Prime, like, because it's an origin story, so for the majority of the film he's not Optimus Prime. She didn't work out that he was Optimus Prime until about halfway through. I was like, what do you mean? Bearing in mind, we have seen all of the Transformers films together. It's not like she's never seen anything Transformers ever. And she didn't work out that was Megatron until he literally said at the end of the film that he is Megatron. And I was like, well, what? I don't know. That baffled me. That one did, a little bit. Just a tiny bit. But yeah, I was really shocked at how much I enjoyed this film. And even she, when we left, was like, that was really good. And surprisingly, produced by Michael Bay. I didn't think Michael Bay had much to do with the Transformers films anymore. I thought that was kind of his era done a while ago. Like, where was Linkin Park? I would have loved some Linkin Park in here. That would have been pretty cool. I was a little bit surprised that, as far as I noticed or could find on Google, there was no cameos from the original voice cast at all. Like, even at the end, he does a bit of a speech, and it's kind of a jump forward in time a little bit. Like, it would have been the perfect opportunity to have Peter Cullen do his Optimus Prime voice again, because it's the more mature version of Optimus versus the character that we've been following throughout the film, you know? Also, something that I love about the Transformers franchise is that no matter the form that it comes in, it's always capable of being really violent and gory, because they never get age rating problems, because they're all just metal. Like, people get blasted apart, cut in half, chopped in half, ripped in half, like, shot. Like, in Transformers, whether it be the live-action Michael Bay stuff, whether it be animated stuff, they've always been really violent and gory, but because there's no actual blood, because they're just machines, there's never any problem with it. And I think that's really cool, because it's very rare these days that you actually get, like, violent stuff that's aimed at kids. Everything's all, you know, trolls. Anyway, in a few hours I'm going to the cinema again, We're going to see Gladiator today, which it's being put out in the cinemas again. I don't think it's actually an anniversary showing. I think it's just being put out because of the fact that Gladiator 2 is coming out soon. And this is one of my favourite things about having Odeon Limitless, is that stuff like this we probably wouldn't have gone to see otherwise, or stuff like this we probably wouldn't have known was a thing, because a habit that you pick up when you're a Limitless member is just a few times a week checking what listings there are on Odeon, whereas I think that regular folk might look at what's on at the cinema based upon trailers that they see on TV or the internet, and things like this wouldn't get a trailer. Like, the only time I've ever seen a trailer for anniversary showings was Shaun of the Dead and the Spider-Man films earlier this year, because that was a pretty big deal when they, for like 3 months straight, had a Spider-Man film on every week. But anyway, as a Limitless member, you often check what's on, and you'd be surprised by what's being shown. Like, in a week or two for Halloween, we're going to see the original Nightmare on Elm Street. I love having the opportunity to go to the cinema and see films on the big screen that I would have missed because of being too young at the time. Like Nightmare on Elm Street, I just straight wasn't born. That was more my sister's era. My mother tells infinite stories about how my sisters would hide behind the sofas. Everyone in my family is decently old versus me. My sisters are both in their 40s. My mother is nearly 70. My eldest nephew is only about 2 years younger than me. My eldest niece is only like 3 or 4 years younger than me. It's a weird family. Anyway, I get the opportunity to go to the cinema to see things that I otherwise wouldn't, and I think that's pretty cool, and I'm looking forward to it. Oh, and one last thing before we go. I have an addition to my setup in my office. I've put something else in here. My old love-hate relationship has returned. Let me show you what it was. The exercise bike has made its way back into my office. I am currently dieting. I am only about 7 more pounds away from the lightest I've been as an adult, or at least since I started taking the gym seriously. I am currently already the leanest I've ever been, because those are two different things. I'm about 7 pounds heavier than when I dieted a year and a half ago, but I'm leaner now than I was then, which is a good sign. And I just want to see how far I can push this. I'm literally always doing things back to front. Like, most people are bulking now because it's winter and they're covering up. I'm dieting to set myself up long term for the bigger bulk that's to come. And to help achieve a higher calorie output, because I am very sedentary. You got to remember, the life that I live is one where I don't leave the house very frequently besides to go to the gym and to CEX. You got to remember, normal people with normal jobs are probably doing 10,000 steps a day without too much effort. Like, especially if they've got a manual job, they might be doing 20, 30,000. I, on average, probably do like no more than 2,000 steps a day because I don't go anywhere besides to the gym. So to help do a little bit more, I'm putting cardio in. All the weight that I've lost for like the last month or so has been without any cardio whatsoever, and just through diet alone. Now we're going to supplement that calorie output through some more movement. I think I got this bike off Amazon for like 120 quid a couple of years ago, and I'm just going to spend half an hour on it every day, blasting out as hard as I can. It's not the most comfortable thing in the world, hence the neck pillow. I really would not recommend putting my sweaty arse pillow across your neck, though. That probably give you pink eye. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you later. What a thing to go out on, pink eye. Have fun.